Poor Beat couldn't fly like the birds he saw in the sky. He hated himself for this. He peered up every day just watching them cruise in the clouds. He felt passed by. Poor Beat couldn't swim like the fish in the pond. He felt like a failure for that. He watched how they dived and reached for the bottom of the water. He was very discouraged. Beat thinks about others a lot. He disguises his competitive thoughts as those of admiration. Poor Beat. Poor Beat? But he could run and jump and bark and smile and love and laugh and live. Not a single one of these made Beat special, but rather all of these together made him special. This is the poem I wrote to be paired with my piece of the same name, Beat the Dog. Beat the Dog is a commentary on the way in which people experience themselves and others. Beat is a fictional character invented to represent insecurity and a lack of confidence, enlightened to a state of contentment. This being illustrated through the restored relationship between personhood and nature. Personhood being defined as individual subsistence, and nature being defined as attributes that are personal to something. I use Beat as a character the audience can relate to and potentially realize their own worth in individuality. My goal is to point out that people's worth is not found in one single thing, because there is indefinitely someone better at that one thing, but rather, one's worth is found in all things which compose their person or personality. The piece is a sort of celebration of Beat, an event in his honor with all of the music dedicated to him and his life. Names of fictitious composers are used in the program in order to establish different atmospheres and varied listening experiences from one piece to the next. The whole event begins with an overture, a 7-minute piece introducing the audience to the soundscape and the different themes used throughout the hour-long piece. The overture is written for strings, two horns, bassoon, clarinet, and flute. And if that seems a little too close to the instrumentation of Dumbarton Oaks by Stravinsky, that's because my piece was to be played by the same ensemble that was playing the Stravinsky, so to make things easier, I just used all the same players. The overture begins with a half step in the horns, an interval that appears throughout much of Beat. Then it transitions to the main theme of the overture. This theme is accompanied by a figure which, in my notes, I call the Tchaiki theme after Tchaikovsky, because to me it sounds like something he would have written. The main theme goes through lots of development and reconstruction, eventually adopting a different ending featuring an interval of a minor third, first heard in the bassoon. Then there is a significant vibe change. Inside all of this, the bass and winds interplay. Let's hear it again, but this time isolate the bass and winds. And as you may have noticed, the Tchaiki theme is heard again, but this time in triplets. Eventually, the horn breaks through the texture with a completely new theme based on the minor third which we heard evolving throughout. This theme has a counter theme happening at the same time. The cello then plays its own theme. The viola then introduces its own theme, which from here on out I'll be calling the viola theme. The bassoon comes in with a new figure that will be heard throughout the rest of the piece. This theme is answered by a theme heard first in the low strings. Then finally, the overture ends with winds and first violin playing a sort of chorale theme. The next movement is entitled The Overture We Don't Usually Show. It is solo cello and gives the impression that the audience is being let in on a secret, something that not everybody gets to hear. It features all of the important themes we heard in the overture with somewhat of an eerie atmosphere. Here are some excerpts taken from the different moments of the overture we don't usually show. Thanks for listening, and I hope you'll continue to part 2.